I think it'll change slightly. I think more you'll see now that in the United States, I think is going to be try to implement, develop and implement some capabilities that will help better protect our NATO and European allies from this Russian threat, both in potentially a conventional ground-launched cruise missile that Congress has directed us to the DoD to develop, as well as a cruise missile defense system to protect our NATO allies from this potential missile threat.
And is there any doubt that the Europeans will agree to have these weapons or defense shields on their soil?
I think that is, I think will be a discussion point as the U.S. develops these systems. It will take, probably at least a couple of years to develop. Congress has stated a date of 2020. I think that's very aggressive to modify and develop some systems. But hopefully the U.S. doing the development may entice Russia to come back to the negotiating table. I think it will be a discussion with the European allies of having probably, I think, more with an offensive ground-launched cruise missile. But I think a cruise missile defense system, I think, would be more palatable to our European allies, since it would be just defensive in nature and really focused on defending them against this threat.
I asked one of our correspondents in Moscow whether Russia could afford to get itself involved in another arms race, given what had happened towards the end of the Cold War, when it was basically bankrupted by trying to build more and more. Can the United States afford to get into this?
I think we have fiscal issues, but I think this is a priority that Congress, the White House, and the Department of Defense see is protecting our allies. So I think we can afford a cruise missile defense system, and some limited development of a mobile ground-launched cruise missile system to defend them. I think even with our fiscal issues in defense, I think we're better suited to develop these in the long term than Russia is with their economic issues.
Okay, Tom, there's been a lot of talk from President Trump about NATO countries, NATO member countries, not paying their fair share over the course of the last 20, 30, perhaps 40 years. President Trump saying now is the time to step up with the money. Will the United States be looking for help from NATO allies in getting this through?
I don't think they'll ask for help in developing these systems. I think the administration and Secretary of Defense, in that perspective, we're going to encourage our NATO allies to fund their own militaries up to that 2% level, and especially focused on modernizing their capabilities and readiness levels. As we've seen, Germany and some of our other allies have had real readiness issues with both, German helicopters, German submarines. So I think our focus will be on investing in their own defense capabilities, not asking them to pay for U.S. military capabilities.